Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. They were now joined by Councilman Kenny Smith from District 6. Kenny, you were on the show, I have to look at my notes again here, on September 4th of 2016, so just about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. A few things have changed in the city since then, huh?
A lot's changed, but more importantly, I'm glad I didn't ruin your show enough, and I was invited to come back and sit down with you guys, so it wasn't a ratings drag.
No. In fact, I think you gave Roby Electric a testimonial about power loss at your house and us coming through right around the time of the birth of one of your children, which was unexpected, and that was really appreciated. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about anything that you got going on other than testimonials today. That's why you're coming back.
That's it.
No, I mean, last show was great. Yeah, my wife commented on the show, and she's always the sniff test of everything good or everything bad. But she said it was very educational and interesting. So let's see if we can expand on that this show.
I'm game. Let's see what we got. What do you boys want to talk about?
Well, I don't know, Kenny. What should we talk? Well, we could talk about our new city manager.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We hired a gentleman from Norfolk named Marcus Jones, who ironically was interviewing during the height of the protest.
Oh, wow.
But he comes to us from Norfolk, has a lot of charisma, is a humble guy, is not seeking the spotlight, believes in empowering his employees, a lot of things that we're looking for at the city of Charlotte. The last 3 years were bumpy, to say the least, with the previous manager, and I think everybody on council wanted to hire somebody that was definitely competent, but also we felt would be a good fit for our personnel. We have an outstanding staff at the city, and these people do great work. They just need a leader that can help empower them and help them do what they love to do, which is help grow our city and make it a better place to live. But I am really excited. We had a lot of strong candidates, quality candidates, and he shone through, and we'll start on December 1st. And I think when you guys have a chance to meet him, that you just feel better when he walks in the room, and there are not a lot of people that do that to you, but he's just an optimistic kind of person. I think he will help reestablish ties with the corporate community. I think he'll be very visible out civically with the citizens of Charlotte, and I think he will help council work on the policies that we're hoping to implement in the next couple of years.
That's great. I mean, you just made me think about I had a beer this week. We're building a house. The Roby family is on a lot we've owned out on Roswell's Ferry Road, right off of Trade Street, in Johnson C. Smith area that was regentrifying. The recession hurt it. Is kind of where we're at now. Same vicinity, Biddleville, etc. And I met the neighbor, and he is from Boston, and his wife is from up near Michigan, and they live down here. They have a daughter that's a little over 2. He bought the house next door. We met a couple months ago, so I said, hey, let's get up and go grab a beer. He's a transplant. He's been down here for months. IT guy, runs IT at a big industrial place, and to hear him talk about a fellow that's lived in Savannah, Boston's home to him. They lived in New Hampshire, lived up near Michigan. I mean, a real Northeast guy, about 32 years old, 33 years old, very diverse, and what he had to say about how excited about Charlotte he is, talking about going to his first Panthers game. He had season tickets to the Red Sox, the Celtics, and the Patriots.
Wow.
He said it was a good moneymaker. But it's really cool to hear him, and we come from, me and Paul and myself are different. We have different upbringings and different backgrounds. But I said something like, yeah, the HB2, whatever side you're on, it's been, in my opinion, a political catastrophe. But I said that can't even slow down what we have going on. And he said, I agree completely. He's like, this place is so diverse, it's so cool, and we have these problems, but they're a blip on the radar, and we got to move past them, and we got to unite. And that was that's what you say our city manager's all about, too.
It is. And, when I met with them, if you go back to sort of the glory days of Charlotte in the late 80s when we were growing at rapid pace, Hugh McCall, Ed Crutchfield, the Dowd family, the Belks, Bill Lee over at Duke Energy. You had a corporate community that was really active with local government. Local government, in many ways, sort of got out of the way and let these guys help grow our city. And we've lost a little bit of that. And I think that we've got a manager now that understands sort of the three legs of the stool that I like to speak of. And that's the corporate community, the civic community, and then local government. And I think he understands the importance of each role, bringing each member to the table so that we can help our community again thrive. And I truly do believe Charlotte's best days are still to come. I mean, I think we've had some events recently, and I think we've had some issues, and we've got some things we need to work on. But I do think we have great opportunity to really put Charlotte on the map on a global scale.
Well, it looks like as a council, you share with us obviously a letter that was dated Monday, October 3rd. That was a letter to the community from the Charlotte City Council, and it sounds like you guys are putting a unified voice out for everyone. And if you read this letter, safety, trust, and accountability, access to safe, quality, and affordable housing, and good-paying jobs. I mean, this is what we're all after, right?
It is. I mean, I think when you break down everything to its base level, we all want good schools for our children. We all want safe neighborhoods. We all want, just as Trent's talking about, a nice house and jobs. Like, I mean, everybody wants those. Now, we may differ on how we arrive at those, and right. That's where you need to have conversation and work on it. But everybody has the same base needs, and I'm a firm believer if we can start at that level and start to build relationships, then you can have the tough conversations that you need to have on the how do we move forward and how do we best move forward.
I mean, frankly, that was the whole premise of our relationship, our budding relationship between Paul and myself is I mean, he said at the heart, traveling around the U.S. particularly, but the world, he said most everybody wants to feed their family, wants to be happy, earn a living, and treat others nicely. Most everybody. He said you got outliers, but he said he can't count on two hands how many people from Charlotte, born and raised, he's met.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well,
he said that.
Yeah, I would argue that everybody wants that, and I think we do have segments of our community in across the country that feel a sense of despair and left behind. But I think they want these same things as well. Again, it's how do we achieve that, and how do we help bring everybody along? Because we all prosper. We're all better off if we have a community that's working and pushing for the same goals. I mean, right now national unemployment's down, but folks that are out of the workforce is at an all-time high, right? And so, I mean, I think we need to figure out how to get our country, get them working again.
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, and if you tell one of those people that's not working that unemployment's at an all-time low, what does that mean to them? It doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
it's all relative.
It's all relative. And you're talking about tough conversations. We're talking about obviously getting to know our neighbor, getting to know people in the city. I don't know if we're going to have time to go into it this segment, but I do want to talk about, there was an article that was in the September 29th Observer about you and about a very difficult city council meeting. And quite frankly, the way you handled it, this is a very nice piece. I thought was really interesting because you kind of broke down the barrier a little bit. Again, we're coming. I got about a minute and a half.
Let's wet their palates and we'll talk about it.
You want to tease it?
Yeah, let's tease it.
Is that radio lingo?
We're getting really good at this.
We'll tease it. I will say, to tease this, Peter St. Ange called me after watching the meeting. He's an opinion writer for the Observer and said, I think that's a great story. I'd like to share it. I told Peter that I wasn't as sure that it was a great story. I didn't view it as any sort of seminal event for the week. And I said, I want to talk with some of the folks that have called me as a result of that and see if it's okay with them. And Peter assured me that it's a good story to tell. And I said, look, here's who you need to call. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. My friend who I went to lunch with as a result of that night was okay with it. And in retrospect, Peter was right. It was a good story to tell. And I say that because my really conservative friends sent me just notes of, hey, man, we're really proud of you. My really liberal friends did. And so, I mean, I think it resonated with a lot of folks in the community. And, I'm glad Peter decided to share the story. Hopefully it'll be a building block that we can really help fix some of the problems we have out there.
Well, Kenny, we're going to dive into that here on the next segment. Stay with us, folks. You're listening to At Home with Roby. We're here with Councilman Kenny Smith. We'll be right back.